Hey, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be watching Ready to Love season 5 episode 10. If this is your first time joining me, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button with the notification bell on. Hit the like button if you enjoy this type of content, and drop down in the comment and give me your predictions on who is going to actually succeed in this show, because all of these couples are screwed as far as I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and get into tonight's watch along. Yes.
But I'm honestly
yes.
at peace. In some regards, it's like a bittersweet.
I bet you Cornelius is happy to be gone. He like, I'm free.
Friendship that I built in this journey.
Lord, I'm free.
What we have is real.
Bye.
And it is bigger than this process.
Bye.
And
What are you doing?
Go on and eliminate yourself. Go ahead. Bye. Look at Cornelius. Look at his face. When she said she self-eliminated, Cornelius' face, he didn't want that. He thought he was free. So the episode starts off where last week ended. You know, we were trying to see who's going home, Cornelius and Naeem. And just like everyone prayed and hoped for, Cornelius is going home. And that means that, what's her name? Crazy Camille self-eliminated. First of all, his face was when it was time to go, he looked relieved. But then when Camille said that she was self-eliminated, he looked like he wanted to cry. He looked like he wanted to yell help to somebody, because she is like a black widow for real. And I think she's gonna take him home and kill him, okay? After the elimination, we see a date with Shiloh and Phil, and Shiloh brings out these cards. Basically, it's like a get to know you better love language type of game, because y'all know Shiloh's real cerebral. She really asks a lot of questions, and the questions seemed deeper than their relationship is. Phil seemed slightly like uncomfortable to be asking the questions, and while Shiloh is trying to be this open, like, I really like you, you're my #1 connection, instead of Phil returning that kind of those sentiments, he just leaned in and gave her a kiss. He didn't actually say anything or affirm her feelings or anything. So I hope Shiloh caught that, because Phil is still out here trying to play the field, okay? He does not see it for her like she sees it for him. Then we see a late night rendezvous with Dante and Aisha, because he just wants to check on her after, you know, all of the chaos from the night before. She's still a little bit upset about it, but she knows that Dante and her have the best connection, and Dante is going to have to tie up his loose ends with Zadia, because it's clear that he's all in with Miss Aisha, and she seems to be all in with him. You see how giddy and girly and smiley and flirty she get when she around him? It's a connection that I did not expect to see, but I'm not too mad at. So everyone's back in DC, and we see Frank and Mimine go on a walk around in, what was it, Memorial Park or wherever. And they are connected. Mimine basically is putting all her eggs in the Frank basket, because she feels like Walter done friend-zoned her or something on the sidelines, it seems like. Now that it seems that Walter and Sabrina have a stronger connection, she's trying to have Frank fall in, but Frank ain't feeling you mean 100%. You know, he still has his connection with. I just don't like Frank. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't get past his pink lips. I don't know. I just can't. I don't see it. But Frank did try to have a nice little gesture, sweet gesture. He took the golf ball from their first date and wrote their names and the date on it. So that was a sweet gesture. I just don't see it for them. It is what it is. Then we finally get the conversation between Dante and Zadia. So Zadia come in there in her LBD, baby, her little black dress, and it seemed like she had an attitude off real walking into this little meeting. She says that she feels like Dante has been ignoring her for the past 3 days, and he left her blindsided, unprotected, and out to dry at the eliminations because she was unaware that he had spent all this quality time with Aisha. And so when she goes into the elimination and hears about this, now she's feeling away. Dante says that he tried to pursue her, but he felt like she wasn't letting the door be open and she had a stronger connection with Naeem. So he moved on organically with Aisha, and that's who he's choosing to ride with. So Zadia gets upset and she's like, oh, that's what you're choosing? Well, go ahead and have fun with Aisha and her long talks about nothing. And she walks away from the table. But before we go on commercial break, we see Zadia double back round to the table. I can understand Zadia being annoyed that it seems like all of the communication just kind of ceased over the weekend. But at the end of the day, this conversation was supposed to be their closure, and this is what you're saying that you wanted this communication. So it is what it is. You should be able to move on with Naeem now and be happy about it. I don't understand what else you want from Dante. It's not like he's still trying to string you along. He let it be known, I'm feeling Aisha more. I felt like I wasn't getting what I needed to get from you. I'm getting it from her. It almost seems like for Zadia, she's just upset that it's Aisha because we've seen her and Aisha butting heads before. So I think she's more upset that he chose to go with her arch enemy than she is upset that he's moving on with, let's just say, Mean or somebody. That was really ugly. That was really ugly. Yeah, she did.
Most of the time.
She did. So when Zadia doubles back around because she felt like she ain't had a chance to speak her mind. She ain't get everything she needed to get off of her chest. She comes and gets in Dante's face and starts beating his nose and telling him about how he did her dirty. It was just, and Dante was just sitting there, just taking this beratement. And honestly, when she left, she's like, it's not about being number one or which connection or whatever. And he was my number one connection when I went in there. And then when she gets outside and has her little alone time with the producers, she's bringing up Aisha's dance. She's stupid. And da, da, da. Like I said, it's not about him moving on and choosing a different connection. It's about the fact that he chose Aisha. That's why she's mad. We see the truth. Then we see a date between Walter and Sabrina, and we kind of get a little bit more backstory onto Sabrina and the stripping that we found out that she did last episode. She says that she was bullied when she was younger. Then, you know, she ended up turning 18, getting out in the world, having to just kind of fend for herself, and so she started dancing at a gentleman's club. Walter says that he's listening and he's trying not to be judgmental about it. My thing is, like I said last week, it ain't like she was stripping yesterday. It ain't like she was stripping 2 years ago. This was 20 years ago that this woman was stripping. Who cares? Like, who cares? No one should, okay? But they have both solidified that they are each other's number ones. You know, when they went into the retreat, it was between Mean and Sabrina. Well, now it is officially, you know, Walter wanting Sabrina. And even though he's saying that she's his number one, he's still not communicating like she wants. He claims he's just trying to give her some space and letting her do what she wants to do. But Sabrina clearly feels a way that, like, no one is actually trying to pursue her. No one's actually trying to, like, talk to her, even though this is the number one connection. Next, we see a date between Phil and Sydney. You know, they had this random connection all of a sudden 2 episodes ago. So here she come with her itty bitty green dress on, honey. And they sit down, and Phil takes this time to kind of open up a bit more. And he talks about losing his mother and how he felt the way about not being able to give her grandchildren. And he seems more invested in Sydney than he did in Shiloh. Sydney did ask about where him and Shiloh were, and he asked where her and Frank were, and they both said, you know, they like bumps in the road, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the date, they all kissing on each other and kissing, and I'm talking about loud, wet kisses all on the TV screen. And so it seems to me that Phil is more physically attracted to Sydney than he is to Shiloh. He thinks, like in my opinion, he thinks Shiloh's a cool girl, and he liked her up until Sydney gave him the chance, and now he's trying to go with that. That's what it looked like to me. So the men are at the lounge, the little whiskey cigar bar or whatever, and they basically break down what happened at the retreat with Tommy about how the brown girl clique or brown girl squad started the drama at the table. And it was very cliquish. It was very high school, and it's just telling of the personalities that I was gonna say Mumine, but not Mumine, but Zadia and Camille have. Even though Mumine is a part of the clique, she wasn't a part of like the mess. Then they go ahead and talk about who their strongest connections were. Like I said, we've already talked about it. Sabrina and Walter, even though he is concerned about her being a stripper for some stupid reason. Frank likes Sydney and Mumine. Phil likes Sydney and Shiloh. Dante and Aisha. Zadia and Naeem. Simple. Then we get to who could be going home. And Dante brings up the situation with Zadia and how she put her hands on him. She's sitting up here touching on him. And instead of taking this as a red flag, Naeem says, well, I don't put that type of energy out, so I don't get it back. Well, I don't think Dante put that type of energy out. Dante was being very calm, cool, and collected. So there was no reason for her to turn up and to feel that way towards him. And Tommy says, you know, you should take this as an opportunity to look forward and see what could possibly be down the street for you. In other words, honey, see the signs that are on the wall. All right, we've already seen her be catty and mean in a group setting. Now she's actually putting hands on people. Zadia needs to go. Naeem says that his least connection is with Sydney because her voice is annoying. Mumine's name gets brought up quite a few times, and so it looks like Mumine and Zadia are probably gonna be in the bottom. So like I said, Mumine and Zadia are at the bottom. Phil takes Zadia out, and Walter takes Mumine out, and they have their respective conversations. With Phil and Zadia, he's trying to get her side of the story with the date that happened with Dante. Now, she came in there on her best behavior, honey. All smiles and everything. Said she had one of her baddest outfits on. That's your baddest outfit. I don't want to see your closet. But anywho, had one of her baddest outfits on, and they go to talk about it. And her issue is that he did not communicate with her. Phil tried to play devil's advocate, and she's like, don't be the devil, honey. But at the end of the day, there is no justification for putting your hands on him and feeling justified in it. She's like, Phil said he couldn't co-sign, and she said, well, I'm not looking for a co-sign. But I don't think she even feels like she was wrong in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Over with Walter and Mumine, they're discussing the breakdown between what was their relationship at the retreat. And basically, Walter felt like Mumine walked away from the relationship after their conversation by the pool. Mumine felt like Walter was acting funny and being weird and pulling away from her around Sabrina. And like I said, it was just a weird situation to be in last week. How do you expect him to respond when he's in between two women that he's talking to? Like, he can't be hugged up on you and hugged up on her at the same time. He was just trying to, it was an awkward situation. So I don't really know what Mumine was expecting from that moment. And she came in there, honey. I guess she didn't realize that this was going to be an elimination date. She came in there thinking that she's finna get Walter told about, you know, them not being a connection anymore or something. I don't know. But then she quickly realizes that, oh, wait. When Walter goes to saying, you know, they talked and she's lost her connections with the other men. Now she's starting to realize, oh, wait, I might be going home. At the end of the day, Zadia was not ready to love, and she knew that was coming. She didn't even let Phil say what needed to be said. She felt like the men were messier than the women, and that Dante probably went back to the men and called her all type of crazies and everything, which I don't think he dragged her like he could have dragged her. He just said what it was. If you acting crazy, boo, you acting crazy. And because Zadia got eliminated, Naeem took this time to go talk to Tommy and to self-eliminate. Tommy said that it was clear to him that Dante was Zadia's #1 connection, or else why else would she have acted, you know, why would she have reacted that way if he were not? And Zadia even said it when she was talking to Dante that he was her #1 connection. And so Naeem decided he didn't have any other connections. He put all his eggs in the Zadia basket, so there was no reason for him to stay there. He would have been going home next week anyway. So this episode had a lot of self-eliminating going on. We are coming down to the wire. We only have what, like four couples or so left. Next week they're going to be meeting each other's families. I still don't really see it for anybody in the group. I guess I'm gonna ride out with Walter and Sabrina like I've been doing all season, but I don't even think that they'll be together by the reunion. But that's it. Y'all tell me who y'all think the best connections are down in the comment section. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in. Share this video out if you enjoy the content and you care, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Peace.